Hey you guys, welcome to another episode of Ask James. Thank you so much for clicking in, and let's not waste time. We're going to go ahead and get started and see what letters we actually have today. Let's go. Look, this first letter has no title, and it goes a little like this here. Hey James, I hope you decide to respond to my question either online or one-on-one. I've never written to anyone asking for advice, but you seem so wise, down to earth, and relatable that I decided to take a shot, so here it goes. Cool, thank you. I am a woman of a certain age, 50s, in parentheses. I have been married and divorced. There was a man who I met before I was married when I was in my early 30s. We had an attraction, but he was married, and I did not do other women's husbands, so it did not go anywhere. Fast forward 15 years. Okay? I was married and divorced and living in a 2-unit property I own. This man was separated from his wife for a few years, not divorced, and looking for a place to stay. Because money was tight on my other unit, was not fixed up, but it was livable. He asked if he could rent it out, and I said yes, with a greatly reduced rent, 50% of the market rate, because the place was not remodeled. A few months later, he started reasserting into his interest in me. I told him I did not think it was a good idea because he was still married, even though he was separated. I would not consider him as someone to date as long as he was married. He filed and got a divorce, and we started dating. I was cool with it as long as his rent got paid on time and we had our separate spaces. I was working on buying a new property which fell through. At the time, my son and his family needed a place to rent. I asked the person I was dating if he would be okay with me staying with him until I found a place to buy so I could rent my unit to my son and his family. He said sure. I began putting lots of money toward fixing up the rental unit, which is now looking good. He continued to pay the same amount of rent to me, while I buy all the food and wash his clothes. We're basically playing house. Yeah. Then he started having money issues. I don't know if the money issues are because he thinks he should not have to pay the same amount if I live with him, or if it is because he is out spending money elsewhere, or maybe his money really got funny. Although it did not before we were physically and romantically involved. As I said, I am a woman of a certain age, and it is not hard to see telltale signs of when a man is creeping out. I find it weird that he would do all this after chasing me for so long. But I know men are generally about the pursuit, so perhaps once he felt like he got it, it was on to the next one. I also know that I want to have my own space, and this is important to me. However, I do not want to buy a new place as much as I did before, and have no intention on leaving my home and family at this point. Plus, I am attracted to a man that can expand my horizons, and I'm not sure that he's capable of that. Okay. If I had no signs of him creeping, and if the rent was being paid as regularly as it is supposed to be, I think I could be okay sharing space with him and maybe even settling for the horizons he offers. If we had separate spaces, I think we might be able to work to a certain extent. As it is, I am ready for him to go at this point in time, for my own good and the good of any potential relationship between us. And am I completely wrong, or is it time to move on? Help. Thank you for any light you can shine on the situation. Continue blessings to you and yours. You want my honest answer? My honest answer? The way this is written, you are coming across a little money grubbing there on the way this is written. There's a lot of moving parts to it, but it just, and I'm not trying to be offensive, but just the way it's written, there's this situation of he could possibly be creeping, but there's no solid evidence, and it doesn't even seem like a whole lot of circumstantial evidence. It's kind of like that was thrown, and this is me reading the letter. This is what I'm getting as I'm reading. It's sort of like it was thrown, like that's just been thrown in, and I don't know if you even realize that you kind of threw it in. It really seemed, if I'm being honest with you, it seemed like as long as you were on the completely beneficial end, everything was fine. Whatever he did, whatever he lacked, it was all fine. Everything was cool. Your kids were in the other apartment, you were in the apartment with him, the money was flowing, you're getting the money from your apartment, the money from his apartment, and basically you're saving, you don't have any overhead at that point. And that seemed like everything was fine at that point, which is cool. But then, as soon as it switched and everything for you wasn't a complete win-win, then you started to notice the things about him that you didn't really care for. Then you started to notice the limitations of what the relationship could possibly have, whereas it just kind of seemed like it didn't really bother you before. Now that's one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is you do realize that people they outgrow each other. So there's no, after we got to you all getting together, you didn't give any real time, any more time. So I don't know how long you all have actually been living together and that kind of thing. So I can't really, put in there whether you've just outgrown him. But it just really seems like once it wasn't a win-win and it wasn't kind of like this, then you started to find the things about him that you weren't really all that crazy about. That's how it looks with me reading it. So if I'm being totally honest, the way the letter is written, it very much seems to me like you were doing a little money grubbing. A little money grubbing, and it don't look all that favorable on you. But again, there's some stuff missing there. The whole thing about him stepping out, other than the fact that he said that his money, there's like a issue with his money got funny. I don't know, you didn't say that his hours got cut from work, you didn't say, there's some things that are left out of there, but all I can answer is what is written, and what is written, if I'm being completely honest with you, it's making you look money grubbing. That's what is coming across for me. If I was him and you presented this with me, I would feel kind of used in a way. Like, oh wow, so now that you're not, gaining money on two ends, as much money on two ends, now you're ready to throw me into the streets. So I don't know, but that's, again, I think there's some stuff that's missing and some time stamps that's missing for me to give a full advice on what it actually is. But if I'm speaking on just what is here written, that you not coming out looking squeaky clean, my dear. Not on here. Not on here. Yeah. No. 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 And I'll tell you, it just kind of it really looks like what would be ideal for you is if he actually decided to just leave you alone and get up and leave, and you can stay in the apartment or in the unit that you're in, and your kids stay in the other unit, and he can go on about his business, and I think you would be totally happy with that. It's what is actually coming through. You're just done with it. So I don't know. Like I said, some timestamps, a couple of things missing, but from what I'm reading, that is what I'm getting. So that doesn't hurt your feelings, but that is the truth of what I actually feel from reading what you wrote. All right, thank you so much for writing in, babe. Okay, guys, on to our next letter. This letter is actually entitled Tired of Jacking. Okay. I don't know. You know I don't pre-read, so I don't know. Let's read this and see what it says. Title, Tired of Jacking. Okay. Hi, James. I'm a 35-year-old man. I've been with my partner for 6 years. He's 13 years older than me. Our sex life is losing its fire. He always seems to be too tired to have sex, even when I try to initiate it. I've brought this to his attention already. I'm not a cheater, but I want to have sex. I'm only 35. What should I do? Is it me? He works really hard, so am I asking too much? Okay. So the title is actually true to form. Oh boy. Well, the thing is, you actually have answered your own question. You answered your own question. The last line of your letter says, he works really hard, so am I asking too much? So, in knowing that he works real hard, and he is 13 years your senior, you already understand that it's actually pretty much truth to the thing when he says that he's too tired sometimes to actually have sex. So you actually have answered your own question. Are you asking too much? You're doing the most. You're doing the most. If you know in your heart and soul that he's not doing anything shady, he's not brushing you off for no reason, that he actually is tired, then you're kind of doing the most by feeling some kind of way when you know the truth of the matter is that his ass is tired. So, now, I understand that actually puts you into a spot. It puts you into a spot. These are the things that actually go along with these situations when you jump into a relationship with a man or a woman that has a large gap and they're 10 plus years your senior. You know that at some point, and maybe you didn't because you've been with them pretty much since you were 29. You kind of know that their steam's going to run out before yours in some areas. They're going to run into some things that are going to be different. You know, health-wise, stamina-wise. This is one of those things that actually happens when you choose a partner that has such a large gap in age with you. So I'm gonna have to say sex it's important for a relationship. It is important, but I have to turn it back around on you. I have to turn the mirror back around on you and ask you, is it enough to mess up your whole relationship? How important is the sexual aspect of it to you? Is it going to mess up the relationship? And only you can actually answer that. Only you can answer that. And then at that point, you need to go and talk to him at that point. But this really ends up turning around on you and how important is wanting to have more sex to you, because there's nothing I can tell you to make him less tired. There's nothing that you can do really to make him end up having more stamina. This is one of those things, either you're gonna settle for it or you're not. So that's the question that you have to actually give to yourself. Then you got to go to him and talk. What can we do? If the sex part of it is gonna be a big issue for you, you need to go ahead, go to him. There are some options. Like you said, you're not a cheater. You're not a cheater. I know it wouldn't work for me. It wouldn't work for me, but there are some people that may allow you to play a little bit. So that you're satisfied. That depends on what his love level is for you and what his tolerance level is. So there's some ways around what the situation is, but nothing that I say or nothing that you say is gonna give him more stamina. Because you'll be rewriting me again. If you go to him and be like, you know what, this is becoming a problem for me, and you have talked to him, before, you said you talked to him. If you go and say, I'm gonna need you to have more sex, what's probably gonna happen, if he tries to have more sex and he's tired, you're gonna get some bad sex in there. Instead of getting the kind of sex that you're used to get when y'all first started, you're probably gonna get double what you are getting, but it's gonna be lackluster. So you're not going to be satisfied. You'll be writing me a whole nother letter about something different. So I don't know. You either you're going to stick it out and you're going to change up and work with it, or you're going to have to come up with some options, or he'll have to come up with some options actually, and maybe he'll let you play. I don't know. That's something that you all are going to have to work out. That's really as much as I can actually offer with this. It's really a rough situation. It's kind of rough. It's rough. It has it's kind of one of them can't see the forest through the trees situation. It's like, what is really going to go on? But that's it. That's the only thing that I actually see is if he's the type of person that's going to let you play around, is the only thing that's going to change the amount of sex that you're going to intake, or So this one, I gotta kind of turn it back on you, boo. Gotta turn it back on you. What you gonna do? All right, I don't think I was very much help on that one, but that's just the facts. That's just the facts. All right, thank you so much for writing in. Okay, on to our next letter. This one doesn't actually have a title. And it goes like this. It says, I want to start by saying that I love your channel. I've been a subscriber for a couple of years now. I am a big fan of all your content. I love the advice you give your viewers, and I'm hoping that you can give me some advice of my own. Cool, thank you so much. Here's my situation. I think that I may be falling in love with one of my closest friends. He and I met about a year ago via social media. We clicked instantly and we haven't gone a day without speaking ever since. At the time that we met, he was going through a lot of drama with his now ex-girlfriend, as was I with my now ex-boyfriend. We flirted back and forth in the past, but we've never made any real physical moves toward each other. He constantly tells me how beautiful and smart I am, how any man would be lucky to have me, and how good it is to have somebody like me that treats him the way I do. Whenever he says any of these things, I'm thinking to myself, so make a move, do something. Take this love that I'm trying to pour into you. Laugh out loud. I think about him all the time. I light up whenever he texts or calls me. and I'm genuinely interested in every little thing about him. Of course, he knows that I'm his friend and that I love him, but he does not know that my feelings have grown stronger for him. I've been too shy to tell him how I really feel because of fear of being rejected. Lately, I've been suffering in silence when he talks to me about taking other girls out on dates, and it's becoming harder for me to conceal the way I feel. Do you think I should tell him what's going on or just let it go? I have no idea what to do. Okay, then it says more information. We live about 2 hours apart because of college. However, I'm moving to his hometown in a few months for medical school. I am 21, a female, and he is 23. Both of us are currently single. Thanks in advance for your help. Okay, so let me give you this one fast. Quick and fast. Listen. I understand the whole thing of not putting yourself out there for fear of rejection. I definitely understand that. I'm very much a silent individual as much as I run my face. I'm not one that comes for the prey, honey. I'm one that sits back and wait for the prey to come for me. That's me. That's very much me. So I definitely understand that little part of the whole, like, I ain't really trying to put myself out there. But Miss Thing, listen. Girl, with this, time is of the essence. Listen, he's single, you're single. He's 2 hours away. He's 2 hours away. Okay, now remember I said that. He is 2 hours away because this is going to be the thing that you can lean on. Do you understand? That he's 2 hours away right now. He's 2 hours away. You need, if you can't say it out of your mouth, because I'm sure y'all talk on the phone and all of that, you can't say it out of your mouth. You don't want to say it something instantaneously like a text. You all met over social media. Write him an email. Tell him how you feel. And like I said, time is of the essence. Go on and hide behind that. You know, let your insecurities lie in the damn internet world and don't worry about it. Miss Thing, you need to go ahead and put your foot in the race and tell him you want him. And listen, real close. Don't throw out there, oh, I know you want me and all of that. Take ownership of this. Go ahead on and just let him know, you know, I'm feeling you. And I think maybe we could give it a shot. What do you think? And put it out there. And if he doesn't want to do it, then there's space in between you all and it'll be fine and you're not going to die. You're going to be fine. You're going to die. But don't wait and then move to that town where he's at and then you have to see him. And then it's right in your face and you miss your chance and some other girl that snatched him up. Now that's why I'm telling you, time is of the essence. Do it now before you get there, because you don't want to get there and then be feeling some kind of way and ain't never said nothing, and now somebody done sunk their claws into what was supposed to be your steak, honey. So my advice to you, whereas I'm the same type of person, I ain't really into putting myself out there like that when it comes to matters of the heart like that, but sometimes you have to approach your fears head on. And I think this is one of those times when head on is the way to do it. Because I'm telling you, if it was me, I would be swole if I didn't say nothing, and then next thing you know, I move into the town that he's in, and here we are being friends and carrying on, and some other broad laying up with him. Girl, you gonna be mad, honey. You gonna be mad. You think you feel some kind of way now. Baby, you gonna really feel some kind of way if somebody else is mounting him, honey, and you around the corner. you better listen to what I'm saying. Go on and hide the insecurity behind the internet. If you can't do it instantaneous and you can't do it over the phone, then you go ahead, just send them a message. That's how y'all met. Y'all are open like that. That's how you met. Type it. Just like you typed this to me, type it to him, honey, and let him know that you are feeling him. And because obviously he's not going to jump out there with you. And he might be just sitting there very nervous to even approach you with it. It might be the exact same thing. And the other thing is now, hold on. The other thing is the fact that y'all are such good friends. He may not be willing to put the friendship up, because you know how that goes. When you're friends with a person and then you move into that, it could ruin the friendship if it don't work out. So don't be devastated if he decides no because of the friendship. You know what I mean? Because that's a way, that might be an issue. That may be an issue. That may be the issue why he hasn't leaped at you. You know what I mean? But listen, if you don't try, you ain't never gonna know. And this whole thing about him dating other chicks, I don't know about all that. I think you need to shoot your shot while you ain't in town. And, shoot your shot while you ain't in town. Then you got time. If it don't work out or he's not, receptive to it, you'll have time to get over it before you get to the town where he's at. Kind of strange to me, though, that he likes you that much and he tells you about dating other girls. That's the part that kind of throws me, because I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that. I do not want to hear about you dating no other broad. But listen, my advice to you, dear, is to confront that fear head on. If you don't feel like you're strong enough to do it through text or a call, write it in an email, girl. Drop it in. Run up in his DMs, Miss Thing. Run on up in his DMs and see what you can get going. But I think it'll be much easier to deal with. If it's going to turn out and be a rejection, it'll be much easier to deal with living 2 hours away than living around the corner. By the time you get around the corner, you'll be over it. And, you run on up there, honey, and then the table will be turned, because then he'll have to be sitting watching you date other people. So, my advice, run on up in his DMs, girl. That's my advice. All right, baby, I hope this helps. All righty, thank you for writing in. Girl, let me know what happened, child. Okay, you guys. Now, this one it has a title. We don't get a lot of titles. I get excited when I see a title. Well, it usually makes me laugh, because sometimes the titles are on and sometimes it's like, what? Anyway, I say all that to say this. This one has a title, and it is Selfish. All right, and it goes like this. Hi, James, I love you. I really admire your thoughts, and I would really appreciate your thoughts on this. I just turned 30 years old on, wait for it, January 9th. Oh, okay, come on now. Another birthday twin. Well, congratulations, honey. And 40, yes, indeed, it's a good number. It's a good number, honey. January 9th, so she's Capricorn. And it is a she. She's Capricorn. All right. I'm the oldest of 6 and have had to help my mother raise my brothers and sisters since I was 8 years old. I got married rather young and have 3 beautiful daughters. I include that to hopefully make this letter make sense. My girls are ages 21, 19, and 16, and all in school. My brothers and sisters are all grown and are married and have lives of their own. I'm the backbone of my family. They all still come to me with the traditional family drama. I'm an old heifer. Is it completely selfish of me to be bothered when I want to be bothered? I'm starting to really value my me time. Thanks, James. Okay. One thing that I have to ask here that is not included is that you told me, and this is the most important thing for me to even approach this. It's never, I'm gonna say this, it's never completely selfish when you choose you. And as a Capricorn, you have a problem with choosing you. That's one of our things. Well, there's two different kinds of Capricorns. There's the ones of us that are always dealing with our stuff last and trying to be everything to everybody. And then there's another kind of Capricorn that they're another kind of Capricorn. They're a total opposite of that, okay? I'm sensing that you're more on my side, where throughout life you've thought of other people first. I'm asking this question because you did not include this. I'm wondering, is your mother still with us? Is your mom still with us? Because you stated that from early on, you always helped your mom with the brothers and the sisters. So I'm wondering, is she still with us? Because if she's not, then that would make you pretty much the matriarch of your family, your family unit. Because you didn't mention any like grandparents or great aunts or anything like that. So it seems like you've always been geared to sit in the matriarch position, is where you've been geared from the beginning, is what I'm actually seeing. So I'm gonna say this. No, I don't think you're selfish about choosing you, because there comes a time when you have to choose you, okay? And I did that myself. I didn't do it until I was actually 44 years old. I was 43, getting ready to be 44, okay? And if you've been watching me for a while, so I went through a whole battle with cancer. I almost checked up out of here, okay? And in the midst of all of that going on, there came a point where I had no other choice. I had to choose, was I going to be everything to everybody else, or was I going to choose me? And I have had my good days and I have had my bad days, about the choices that I made, but I chose me and I am still here, okay? So I came into a health situation that made me have to change the way I look at things and the way I deal with things, and I had to stop putting everybody else first, and I had to choose me because it was too much on me. Now, you have the chance now to not run into that type of situation where it's so abrupt and you have to make choices, and then change who you are as a person and start doing things different. You can ease your way and ease them into this is how I'm rolling, and you all need to get with the program. I don't find it selfish at all. And like I said, if your mom is still with us, it'll be a little easier. If she's not, and you are the matriarch of your family, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult, but trust me, you'll be glad you did it. So I asked that question. That's really just about how easy it's going to be of a transition for you. But I think it's definitely, it's for the better, trust me. My quality of life is a whole lot different now. And I ask myself a lot of times, and I still have my moments, where it's like I fall right into that, running in there trying to help people and running in and putting my feelings to the side while dealing with other people's bull crap. I still run into an issue with it because that's part of who I am. You know what I mean? But then I say, can't do that. Can't do that, baby. You be stretched out. You're going to be stretched out. And they're going to be doing their bullshit with someone else. You're going to be stretched out. So, again, I have my good days and I have my bad days. But overall, your quality of life will change. You'll be happy that you chose you. Trust me. You'll be happy that you chose you. No, I don't think you're selfish. Girl. Start your change today, honey. Change begins today. Choose you. Choose you. I'm telling you, you'll be happy. Don't feel bad. You're going to have your days, but don't feel bad, honey. You'll be all right. The difference between being here and not being here made it a little bit easier for me. Is either be here or don't be here. Don't even get yourself to that position where you got to be faced with all that. I don't think it's selfish at all. I really don't. I really don't. Thank you so much for writing in, Capricorn. All right, baby. Okay, you guys. This is our last one for today. And it actually has a title. And the title is Just Need to Hear It. Okay, let's see. Let's see. All right, it goes like this. It says, "Hi, James. First, I want to say thank you for all you do for Chez Trésor." Oh, absolutely. You're welcome. "We are blessed to have access to your life and talents. I also appreciate you answering my first letter, as I will be a repeat offender writing you a second time. I felt motivated to reach out again because you do such a phenomenal job on relationship questions, especially ones like this. Now, this might be one where you end up rolling your eyes and knowing the answer before you finish reading, but it goes like this. The thing is, I think I might have met the love of my life and let him go. Now, I won't sugarcoat it and say we had a whirlwind romance and everything was perfect when we met. No, it was quite the opposite. We were co-workers. He was moving back to my city. He was moving back to my city to his mom's house after a messy divorce, and he had quite a reputation for being an office gigolo. It's already starting. Okay. But Lord have mercy, James, was he fine with a capital F. And maybe that's where I'm caught up. I honestly never knew what I wanted in a man or potential husband until I saw him. And once we got more intimate, he shared a lot with me. And it turned out he was just a big ball of hurt. His divorce really crushed him, along with many other things in his childhood, which I could relate to. He and his wife just ping-pong cheated on each other until the marriage couldn't hold together anymore. This is what created a monster he became, but in his heart, he wanted to be faithful and lacked the skills to know how. So I pretty much fell in love with him inside and out. I won't lie. It was clear these feelings were mutual. He had a long way to go before he was ready to give his heart to anyone. But I staked my claim and was with him mind, body, and soul for almost 2 years. Okay. I got about 3/4 of him in return. The majority being his lower half. But in the process of time, his mom decided she was moving down south. This was near to his children, so he decided to move as well. I never asked him to stay, but I did tell him how I felt. We talked a time or two after he left. He told me he was struggling and having someone to build with would help. I had a child of my own and was not willing to uproot her life for the sake of my own. But here it is, 5 years of celibacy later, and I wonder if I missed out. He set the man bar so high. The closest thing to him physically is Idris Elba, and even he's taken now. Yeah, he is. Okay. Okay, let's see. Laugh out loud. Am I just stuck in time? Is it just a symptom of celibacy, an unrealistically fond memory of my last lover? Would you try to go back? What if he was the one? Even you said that you are not willing to settle, and I feel like I would be settling if I was with someone other than him. Please tell me I'm wrong. I welcome it. Like the subject line says, maybe I just need to hear it. Thank you so much. You're simply the best. Simply the best. Okay. Shout out to Tina. Ciao. Okay. All right. Listen. You ain't missing out on shit. You're not missing out on anything. Do you understand me? So basically what you're saying in a nice roundabout way is that he could screw very well. He could screw very well. And you liked him and all of that. And he put that thing on you. He did. He put his thing down. But he got up and he left. He got up and he left. He didn't fight to drag you with him. He didn't fight. He got up and he left. How are you losing? You ain't losing nothing. How are you losing? And it was all said in the letter. I ain't got to go back through all of it. He just sounded like fun to me. Like you had fun with him. But it was a lot of dragging along and moving along and going along to get along, and you ain't missing out on nothing, child. A little bit of sex, but you'll be all right. You'll be all right. You will definitely run into somebody else that will be able to make you feel the same way he made you feel. They're out there, and they will come and they will find you. Him, when you got to the gigolo part and all that stuff at the office, I was pretty done with him back then. Before you even got to the point where he left, I was kind of glad to see him go. And I'm being honest. Because you were a little too wrapped up. You were a little too wrapped up and a little too given of yourself in the beginning. And then he got up and he left. He got up and he left. So that's just my take. My take. Remember though, I am the be chased. I am not the chaser. So from the door, when he got up and left, you didn't miss out on anything. He missed out. You didn't. So that's what I have to say. Continue on, Queen. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. I don't feel like you missed out on anything. That's my take. All right. Thank you for writing in. And that's it. That's what I got. All right. Okay, you guys, that is it. Thank you so much for spending part of your afternoon with me. Hey, you know I love you guys. If you have a situation that you would like me to look at and try to give some advice to, definitely you can actually write me a letter at James Colwell, P.O. Box 99432. That's Pittsburgh, PA 15233. Or you can send me an email at spillitboy@gmail.com, and we'll go ahead and tug and pull at what you got going on and see what we can come up with. All right, now, I appreciate you. We'll do this again next week, 1 p.m. I will meet you right back here at the same spot. We'll do this all over again. Make sure to catch my alter ego at 12 p.m. on Saturdays for Swipe Left. And also, I'm go over and sign up for my new channel for all you crafting folks and folks who love fashion. I have a sewing channel now, which is called Sewing with Shay Treasure. Go over and sign up for the sewing channel. It's going to be on and cracking. I'm going to be able to show you a lot of stuff. It's going to be a lot. It's not just you being able to sew and having to have some large skill set. No, there's going to be some things there for everybody. People with a high skill set, people with a low skill set, people with no skill set. We're going to do the doggone thing. We're going to get down on the sewing with Shay Treasure. I'm going to show you some stuff. Show you how to go in a store and grab something and take it home and make it into something else. Because that's what I do. I'll do that. I very rarely just wear things off the rack. I always have this need to change it. It's just part of what I do. Anyway, and then we can show you how to do some things, how to design some things directly from scratch and make totally from scratch. Make what you want, that you envision in your mind. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So definitely go sign up for that. All right, you guys, I love you, and I will see you next week. Later.